everyone, welcome back to the Gentle Dog Trainers channel. I'm your host Olivia De Santos, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about how to import your dog to Australia. Now, I've written a huge blog about this that goes into the details of every single step, and literally if I go through every single step, I think this video is going to be about 30 minutes long. So today I'm going to talk to you about the essential criteria, like what you need to have done or things you need to think about before you move your dog to Australia. And then I'm going to link the full article down below in the description box if you want like literally the step-by-step process from beginning to end. If that sounds good to you, then just give me a few minutes of your time and we will figure out if it's the right time for you to import your dog to Australia. But before we dive into the content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you want to raise happy, healthy and well-behaved dogs. We make videos about all things dogs every single week. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, let's talk about the essential criteria for moving your dog to Australia. So essentially I've broken these down into 8 questions that you need to ask yourself, and we'll talk about each one. The first is, how long are you going to be in Australia? From all of the resources that I read about importing your dog to Australia and people who have done this process before, it doesn't seem like it's particularly worth the hassle if you're going to be in Australia for less than 8 months. If you think that you're going to go for a short trip, or you're going for a month or 6 months or something like that, then it's probably best to find a good home for your dog, or at least foster care or a family member or something like that to take care of your dog whilst you're away, and then when you come back you can reunite, because the process is so long. It's so long and there are so many things to think about that it's really not worth going through all of that hassle with your dog unless you're going to be in Australia for a meaningful amount of time, like a year, or if you're going to be there permanently. The second question is, are you importing your dog from an approved country? So an approved country is this list of countries that Australia actually accepts live animals to enter the border. So there is a really big list, and I'll leave the link in the description box down below so that it's easy for you to access and you can see whether your country is on that list. If you're not from that list, you can always like make a detour and go to an approved country to do all of the legal bits. As I say, it's a really long and arduous process, but you can do all of that in the approved country and actually fly into Australia from the approved country, and you should still be fine. But go to the article in the link in the description box and that will go into more detail about that particular detail. Number 3, do you have 6 to 7 months before you intend to go to Australia? Now, you need at least 6 months, but probably around 7, 8, 9 months of time before you actually plan to go to Australia to do the entire importation process. It's really, really long. So make sure that you have like a good window of time, that you're thinking about this well ahead of time. This is definitely not an impulse decision, but I'm sure if you're intending to move to Australia or move back to Australia and import your dog, then you're probably not doing it on impulse. But just in case you are, it's not a process you can do on impulse. It's so long that it's not, you know, don't make it more stressful than it needs to be. Number 4, will your dog be under quarantine conditions in a different country when you're intending to import them? So basically what I'm saying here is, in the country that you are traveling from, like if you're having like a stopover or something like that, does your dog need to be in quarantine in that country? This is a disqualifier. Your dog needs to go through all of the quarantine requirements in the country that you are traveling from well before you actually do the importation process to enter Australia. I hope that makes sense. Number 5, is your dog going to be over 30 days pregnant on the date that you intend to travel into Australia? This is another disqualifier. They cannot be over 30 days pregnant. So make sure that you time things correctly if you do have a pregnant dog. Suckling dogs are also not allowed over the border, so please bear that in mind if your dog has recently had puppies. Home stretch, number 6, does your dog belong to one of the restricted breeds or a wolfhound breed? So I've done a video on restricted breeds, what restricted breeds are, and whether I personally agree with the term restricted breed, but that's another topic. I'll leave that video in the iCards above me here. So Australia does have banned breeds, but they call them restricted breeds, and they are not allowed to be imported. So if your dog belongs to any of those breeds, then unfortunately that's a disqualifier. Number 7, is your dog microchipped? Your dog must be microchipped, and your dog's microchip number needs to be on all of the documentation that is provided by your approved veterinarian that's going to help you through this lengthy process. If they're not microchipped already, then do this process now and it will save you a whole load of aggro. Number 8, has your dog been vaccinated against rabies? So the rabies vaccine tends to last about 3 years. If they haven't been vaccinated against rabies, then you can put that in, add it as an additional step to preparing your dog's documents. They do need to test clean from rabies during the process. So do check out the link in the description box and you'll see how the vaccine plays into that. So make sure that your dog is vaccinated against rabies before you start the process, and it will be much smoother for you. So as you can see, you've had a little bit of a taster of how complicated this can be, but I will leave the mega article that goes into a step-by-step play of exactly how to import your dog to Australia in the description box down below, and I really hope that that's helpful for you. I hope this video was helpful for you too in figuring out whether you are ready to start this process. Comment down below a video that we should make next, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.